listening to Rockers for Wildlife Radio with Paul Paget, only on LA Talk Radio.
Hey, it's Paul Paget here, Rockers for Wildlife, and we're real excited. We've got some amazing guests today. Let me tell you, it's going to be mind-numbing, so you better be strapped in. If you're driving, put a seatbelt on. If you're sitting down at home, you better get a seatbelt on your couch. So I want to start off by, first off, thanking everybody here at LA Talk Radio that has put together. We're now in a bigger studio. We're now live video, so we're streaming all over the world. We're obviously our radio's still working and functioning. So the one thing I want to share with you is you all need to go to now the video section. So you go to latalkradio.com and then you go to the video section, and that's where we sit now. We're not channel 1 or channel 2 now that we've moved into full video streaming. So it's a very exciting moment for us here at Rockers for Wildlife, covering both media functions between audio and video. But let me tell you something. I have, last week, as you all knew, I was going to have a famed drummer here that couldn't make it. And so you know what? He's back. So we've got, and he is my partner in crime, and his beautiful wife is obviously part of us too. There's Ron Whitaker and Rodica Isabella Shaldon. And Ron, let me share a couple things real quick. He is one of the most decorated humanitarians in the history of rock. He won the 2013 Lifetime Humanitarian Award, and he's been with Guns N' Roses, Quiet Riot, Cheap Trick, Journey, and let me tell you, this is the coup de grace. Pink Floyd. So we're real excited about just the whole lineup of what this man's done. But he also, him and his beautiful wife, they own Hope for the Homeless. And it's an amazing charity, and it helps homeless veterans. And we work together. They're part of the board of Rockers for Wildlife also, and I'm real blessed to have them on board. Say hi to everybody.
Good morning. It's a wild morning here, but we're happy to be here.
Isabella, say hi to the world.
Hi, I'm Isabella, and I'm happy to be here today.
And she's so cute. She acts shy, but let me tell you something. When we're out on the red carpet working it, this woman knows how to do it. She's a style fashionista, definitely diva time. Now, let me share with you, I've got another amazing individual that we've been graced here in the studio with, and Michael Durio. You know what? He's a multi-instrumentalist, professional arranger, producer, and founder of Paris 5000 Music and Film. And he's had tons of experience: Motown, RCA, Fantasy Records. He's traveled the world with Martha and the Vandellas, the Temptations, Denise Williams, Al Green, and the Pointer Sisters. I mean, the lineup is insane. Say hi to everybody, Mike.
Hello, how are you?
Man.
Wonderful. It's wonderful to be here.
We're so excited to have everybody
Yes.
here. My Lord. So what you been up to?
Well, working Paris 5000, of course. We're preparing for Christmas and doing Christmas CD and proceeds to Boys and Girls Club. And we're working on the company itself to build it to have an international record company.
Awesome. Well, we're excited to hear about all of that. I've looked at a bunch of stuff you sent over, and my Lord, what you've been working on is quite impressive, down to animation, the record label, film and animation's really a hot one, and development and global media and publishing. You're covering the whole gamut.
Well, I have a team, and we all put in our parts and do what we do. Go back to what I've learned from the past record companies, and I want to use this as well and do a great model.
That's wonderful. I'm real excited. We're going to talk a lot more about it. And we've got actress and model, aspiring Sabrina Oberly, and she's here.
How are you guys doing?
We're excellent. Thanks for coming on board. Diana can't make it today, so she's standing in and making sure that we've got everything under control here. So let's talk a little bit, Ron, about Hope for the Homeless.
Well, Hope for the Homeless was founded by Isabella and I, and it's a project dear to our heart because this is the city of angels we live in here in Los Angeles, and we have a very big problem here. It's called homelessness. and there are many men, women, and children sleeping on the streets at night, and that is just something that is unacceptable. We applaud Mayor Eric Garcetti and his staff for all he's trying to do to not only bring awareness to the homeless, but help the homeless and get them into shelters. And what we are here today to do is to do the Rock Challenge. What we want to do, Isabella and I, is to challenge wonderful humanitarians like Ellen DeGenerate and Whoopi Goldberg to come and host a show that we want to produce at the Los Angeles Forum to help our homeless. And we're asking for angels like Stevie Wonder, Paul McCartney, Madonna, Lady Gaga, all to jump on board and become humanitarians like they are anyways, and really help out a cause here. Because one thing that really sticks to my heart is when we have men and women who bravely serve this country and they come back and they wind up on the streets of Los Angeles.
It's horrible.
That is not acceptable.
It isn't.
And we have to take a stand. And I don't want to come back 2 years from now on your show and talk about the homeless here in Los Angeles. We got to act now. Now's the time to act. We can't waste time to come back and talk about it on another show.
I agree. You know, that's why the alignment that we work with together with you with Rockers for Wildlife, because we work to make sure that the veterans that are, I mean, they've been just left for nothing, and it's a sad area. And I work on the H-1B visa program, which has eliminated a lot of American workers, and we're fighting that. And I've got 3 films out on it. And so we just finished, and we're working on the 4th one about this. Here's the thing. We can talk about the problems all day long. That's the problem. Nobody's putting forth the action. So we have solutions that are in place that we want to move forward on. And we're going to talk a lot more about this over every show, because you all know this is Rockers for Wildlife. So wildlife being human wildlife or nature's wildlife. And so it all combines. We're all a mixed bag of nuts out here, and we're just trying to find our way through this thing. And so we've got to shake it up a little bit. And I know these are controversial subjects, but here's the thing. That's what we're about. We want to be raw. We want to be straight to the point of what the problem is and what the solution can be. And you know what? The power of one means something. You know what? All of everybody out there that thinks that you can't do something and that you're just kind of bound, the thing is even just talking about it gets it started, lights the fire. Wouldn't you say, Mike?
Yes, very much so.
Absolutely.
You move forward with one step, you take another step, and that's in anything, business, that's in what you do as a musician or music or a singer. Just keep taking steps.
Absolutely. That's the key. And have faith and hope. You know, faith, hope, and belief has been battered and beaten, but let me tell you, it's alive. And there is hope for us. But it's going to take a team to do it. You know what I think? And I've always said this. Team stands for together, everybody achieves more. Let's band together. You know, and everybody's got different causes. So you all know me. It's about saving the planet and the oceans and all of these wonderful elements. And most of you all know that I work with a lot of wildlife, but I also work on the trash of the planet, and it's overwhelming the planet, and it's killing so many animals and creatures. But here's the thing. People forgot, you know, we can wind up on the extinction list too. You know, we're part of that ecosystem, and it's struggling right now. It's breaking, and it's at that teetered point. That's why when I left to Hawaii to meet with the leaders of the world, we were able to speak about not just the problem, but some solutions. And we met with 194 leaders of 194 countries to the biggest event in the world to actually move the teeter-totter from tipping past its point to maybe balancing it out and moving it back to where it used to be. And so we're very blessed to have had that moment. It was right after I filmed with sharks in Vidi Levu, and it's been amazing to watch some of the action plans that are now in place. Because here's the thing. For any of us that have kids or grandkids, it's vital and important that us as the upper generation step up to the plate and do something. Because I know one thing. If we leave it in this state right now, our kids and grandkids are in trouble. And so, wouldn't everybody agree on that?
I agree.
Yep.
Amen.
Amen.
Definitely. So let's move off that subject, because you all know that I got to go there, because here's the thing. It's about the important issues. I can talk all the fluff and all the glory, all the Hollywood glam stuff, but in reality, we walk out of this studio right back into the mess. Right
Yes.
into the mix.
That's true.
And so, you know me, I'm gonna go poke the bear, you might say. So, Michael, oh my
Yes.
gosh. So
Yes.
let's go back. I want to reel back the clock of your life. I've been, when I met you at the Emmys party, I was so stoked to hear more about it, and I was very fortunate to have met him. And then I went to Valet to go get my car. He's standing there, and thank God Valet was dragging their feet. So we got to talk a lot, and I was like,
Yes.
you got to come on the show. So I see David Bowie, I see Pointer Sisters, Martha and the Vandellas, tell the world what was going on in your head back then.
Well, it was a fun time, first of all, and second of all, you don't know what's your next step. Like you say, if you take the step, I took the step to come to Los Angeles, and from there, I was shocked because a guy asked me, can you play country music? And I said, well, yeah. And really didn't know if I could or not, but wind up doing 6 months in the studio, working for a publishing company doing country music.
Wow.
And then from there it went on to different things, and then signed to Motown and working with different artists. But the whole step has been great because you get an opportunity to meet and enjoy. And I've always said this thing, you're gonna fly me to Paris and pay me and put me in a hotel to play an instrument?
Love it.
It's just unbelievable. So it's such a great thing when you achieve. But of course, I had to go through going to school and getting the education and the whole thing. So, and that's what I'm pushing today is education, but more so for my company. I would love to have a retirement plan because we as older musicians, Ron knows, there's so many musicians that get sick, and so many musicians need health plans and different things like that. So I would like to have it almost like a company where you have the health plan, you put it in, and you make the money work for you as it goes. So
absolutely.
that's
I
me.
love it. Wow, retirement plan for rockers. I'm loving it. Where do I sign up for this thing? I just joined the 50 club, so, you know, sign me up. I'll be your first one on this thing. Yeah, preemptive strike. So talk about, you know, what was your experience like with Al Green?
Well, that was funny because I got a chance to meet him in the earlier part of his career, and we kind of was the backup band, and we played with him. We did quite a few shows throughout the up north, all throughout the northern area of California.
Right.
And then we did a few things in Texas, but it was just fun. And Al was a guy that the ladies like.
Oh, yeah.
And his creation of grabbing roses and throwing them out to the ladies, and that was just heartfelt for them, you know. So Al Green was great. He was a great person too, kind.
Wow.
Yeah.
What an experience. Now, and paying our respects to David Bowie, and just such a loss to the music world. What was that like?
Well, I worked at Cherokee Studio. I actually played percussions because Dennis Davis was the drummer, and we were good friends, and he brought me in on quite a few things. And, you know, David was down to earth. He was cool and very musical, very, very musical, very talented.
Wow.
Yeah, so I got
Obviously.
a chance to spend time with him as well. So.
Wow. Now, we're going to flip. We're going to go back and forth here because I've got music legends here. Good Lord. You know, I grew up around this stuff. So I remember being in the back seat of my mom's old Volkswagen, AM radios, wind blowing through your hair, and listening to all this music. And now these people are in my studio. What the heck? So, Ron, I know you've toured the world. You've played with some of the top of the top. I mean, what's the pinnacle moment? Good Lord, Pink Floyd, some of these. Tell me where it all was.
Well, I was never a member of any of these bands, but throughout my career, I have played with many members of some legendary bands such as Pink Floyd, Quiet Riot, Guns N' Roses, just to name a few. You know, and we do a lot of producing concerts because that's giving back is what really makes a musician or anybody when you can give back through music and raise money and awareness at the same time for a common cause, like our veterans, like our homeless, like, you know, Wounded Warrior Project or something like that.
Absolutely.
You know, it all helps. So being part of a musical thing for me, it was just wonderful because people helping people, and I never thought I'd get the opportunity to play with such great members of such great bands as like I mentioned here, or I had the great opportunity to play with Cherie Currie from the Runaways, legendary rock singer,
Oh, yeah.
great woman and great humanitarian. So, you know, and I'm just happy to be here on your show and talk about causes that really mean a lot to Isabella and I.
Absolutely. Well, we always appreciate it. So, you know, as a drummer, and I got to monkey around with you. Thanks for coming out to my 50th birthday. That was a blast that night. But we also get to work on red carpet a lot. Ron and Isabella and I kind of jet around all over the place. And so, Isabella, you're sitting all over there pretty and cute, and I know you're just dying to jump on that microphone. So tell everybody, I mean, good Lord, you came from another country. You've really built it's amazing. You tell everybody. Okay, so where are you from originally?
That's amazing. Yeah, that's true. And I'm originally I'm from Romania, and that's a beautiful country. And I speak the second language, what is Hungarian. My father was, Hungarian, and I grew up, in this beautiful country. When actually I started at 8 years old to do humanitarian work.
Nice.
And,
wow.
And I was with my mom, at the store when my mom, she bought me a pastry, and suddenly I see this guy watching me, and he was very old, and looking me very sad, and it just touched my heart. And I tell my mom, I say, Mom, can I give my pastry to him, because it just, I'm very sad for him,
Yeah.
And I give my pastry, and my mom, she said, I don't have money to buy you another one, but it's okay. And I say, yeah, that makes me happy, when I see people happy.
Absolutely.
So, and grow up, I was doing modeling for over 20 years, and I was doing, I was playing trombone in the orchestra in Romania.
Nice. I didn't know you played an instrument.
Yes,
wow.
I did.
You still toot the horn?
And when I came here, I stopped playing, but yeah, so, and...
So that means I'm going to grab a horn and have you start playing sometime? Hey, do you miss it?
Yeah, I love playing trombone.
Right.
So, but I stopped, having, 3 children and,
Right.
Be a mother,
Absolutely. And you've got beautiful kids, too.
Yes, and right now they're growing, they're adults, and...
Your grandma.
And growing up, I came here, pursue my acting career, and doing a lot of humanitarian work. And what I received a lot of awards, along with Ron Whitaker, and we're doing great. We just received one from the Pentagon,
Wow.
Nice.
The vets, yeah.
Wow, congratulations.
It's an honor, actually to get that higher,
Absolutely.
And we're so happy, I'm so happy to be here, and help others. And I'll dedicate my life to help others.
That I know of your heart. You definitely do. And let me tell you, Ron and Isabella, it is true from the heart. These people are everywhere all the time. They hold that Hope for Homeless sign up everywhere they go. And they are true stewards of what it is to go out and make a difference. And I see it, and I respect it, and I appreciate it. And I'm fortunate that I've got you all by my side as we move through this thing with Rockers for Wildlife and Hope for the Homeless and everything else we're going to do. Hopefully we'll get Mike tied in here on some of this stuff and get him in the circle. So Do you have any causes or charities or anything you're passionate about that you do? I know you do music and education on all of that. Well, here, I have to bring this up, everybody. Now, sorry, I don't mean to cut you off. Now, I do know one thing. He's off into animation, and I've seen some stuff that he's doing to educate our youth, and it was very clever. I read through it. Why don't you, instead of me sharing about that, let's go in that direction.
Well, I wasn't part of it, but I knew a lot of guys that were part of The Lion King. And we did little segments to submit for The Lion King. And I seen the animation and cartoons, and as time went, I go like, wow, that would be great to get involved in animation. And so I did some music for Children's Hospital Project, and it was a little bit of animation involved, and the guy kind of encouraged me. And from there, we started putting things together. So I started thinking about some of the things that needed to be put out, like good manners for kids.
Right.
And
Must need it.
and we have a cartoon concept that we put together as a dragon, and the dragon gets lost, and in a dinosaur family, and the dinosaurs love him, and they keep him and they raise him, but there are other dinosaurs that feel that he's different, or he looks a different way, he talks a different way, and the bullying and all that. So this will give solutions to some kids for how to get along with others and how to get along with those that are disabled or without name calling, or just different. So through cartoons, they can learn young and grow.
It's a brilliant idea, because I went through it, and I'm stunned, actually, because it's well received, and you can see how a child would look at it and go, wow, I can see the correlation there, especially with all the bullying and stuff that's going on, and it's so extensive, and with social media and all these other factors that are going on. So is that Scoopin' or
Scuppy?
Scuppy, gotcha. I didn't know how to pronounce that. Sorry about that.
It's okay.
So, and that dinosaur, what is that dinosaur? A little T-Rex or a little? It's a dragon, correct?
Well, it's a dragon, a little dragon,
Yeah.
baby dragon.
Gotcha.
And the family finds him, and the family is a full, group of dinosaurs, and they, and there's just different episodes as it goes.
So is that coming out anytime soon? How's that working out?
Well, we're working on funding, of course, and
Story
we
Lives.
want to speak with some networks to push it. There's so much negative out there,
Absolutely.
and we want to put some positive out there to balance it. So at least a child has an opportunity to see some positive, and that's where we are.
Beautiful. I love choices, and we've got to have more positive choices. I
Yes.
agree. I've gotten to a point I don't even want to watch TV anymore. I don't want to watch the news because there's no highlight of anything positive.
Right.
Go into a park. Let's see some kids playing. Let's see something that's real life instead of everybody gets shot up and killed. And it's turned into a real serious situation as far as media goes.
We have to share. We have to step out like what Ron is doing. He's stepping out, helping the homeless. We pull together, and we can make things happen.
Absolutely, and it's about pulling together. So what music projects are you working on right now?
Well, I'm getting ready for Christmas. One of the things I do want to say is I want to thank Martha and the Vandellas, Martha Reeves, and she gave me the opportunity to get this whole thing started, hiring me as a music director, and I just got out of college and used my music skills. And Barry Gordy was really instrumental in a lot of things that I'm doing to build this company. So from this, I'm gonna do a Christmas project, and it's Christmas around the world, and we're gonna have different languages and songs that's sung by different people. So we're putting that together in the studio as we speak. So
Loving it.
that's the latest project.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to coming over to the studio and monkeying around, because we were talking about, I've got several films I'm working on, and he's great at doing soundtracks and whatnot, so I definitely love to see where that's going. I've got some new pieces on piano, and get everybody, I wanted to, as Ron and I've talked about pulling an all-star band together.
Oh.
And just all of us old cats getting together and taking all of our years of experience. Will be hundreds of years of experience all combined. And all the flavors, you take that. I mean, think about that. All these different flavors we've all had over the years and mixing it together. It's got to be amazing. I look forward just to see that train get on the track and start chugging. Definitely. So, Ron, I heard there's something about a Grammy going on that you're involved with. Tell everybody about this. This is exciting.
Well, about a year ago, I was approached by a great songwriter, arranger, producer, David Longoria.
Yeah.
And he wrote a song called We Are One. It's a great, great song. And it's really not about the song, it's about the message in the song, uniting people. It doesn't matter where you live on this planet. There's only one planet here. And we all live on it. We should all work together. We should all play together. We should all make music together. And it's a song that he's been working on all year. I'm associate producer on it, and Isabella and I both sang on it. And it has over 500 singers, so it's really good. And it just got sent out for a Grammy consideration, and we hope it wins a Grammy. And I have a feeling it's going to do that. But in the process, it's the message that's behind it. So, I applaud him very much for writing such a great song, because it's going to change the world. So I'm happy for that.
Boy, I'm excited about that. Congratulations on all that. Definitely. You going to say something, Mike? What do you think?
No, I think it's wonderful. I know David. We've met quite a few times, and the idea is just great. One of the artists that I was working with, she's a part of that as well. So
nice.
So it's really, really great idea. Yeah.
Loving that, definitely. So, Sabrina, I've noticed you've had some magazines that you've got some pretty big spreads in. So, tell.
Campus, High Society.
Yeah, tell about that shoot. What was that like?
Paradise City. That was an amazing time.
Is that the one with Kobe on the front?
Yes, it is.
Wow.
Yeah,
Pretty cool.
that was a massive spread.
Internationally printed and all over the world.
Wow.
It's really,
We love it when it works out like that. This thing looked like an encyclopedia. You want to talk about one heck of a magazine. Just their paper stock that they used on this thing was like a linen. It was crazy. Yeah, that's exciting.
Yeah, bookstores, Barnes and Noble. That's pretty amazing.
Yeah, congratulations. That's awesome stuff. It's just fun. We're in the arts, that's what this is all about. Here years later, we're all still trudging through it and making it work. It's a different playing field, obviously. I mean, you guys were on the front end even before I was on the scene, and when it had some real flavor to it, right?
Well, it was great. And speaking, I guess, for Ron and ourselves, we were true musicians, and we were able to play, and we were able to, take the point of learning what it is. I have such admiration for the John Williams and the Hans Zimmers, because they not only take 5 band instruments, but they take a whole orchestra and write for a whole orchestra. And when you can control that many people, it's almost like a president.
Oh, yeah. It's amazing.
Running an office. But yeah, today, some of that is lost, but still, music is still that touches hearts.
Absolutely.
And I think all of us have a memory of a song that takes us back somewhere when we hear it on the radio or when we hear it being played by an artist.
Sitting on the dock of a bay, baby.
Takes you back.
Oh, yeah, it does. I think that affects every human being at some point. And, oh, my Lord, have mercy. Definitely. What's your favorite music, Isabella?
It's my favorite music.
Yeah.
I have a lot of them. So
Any, just all trumpet
rock
stuff?
and roll music, and disco music. I love, symphonic music.
Nice.
So
Wide
jazz
array.
music. So pretty much I love all the music.
Nice. So have you and Ron, you got the drum kit out and she's over there on trumpet blowing your head off? I'd really like to see that. Actually, here's what she does when he stayed out all night and they're working the scene. I'll guarantee she gets up and she goes in there. He's all laid out on the bed and pulls that horn out and goes, It's reveille. It's time to go. We got a radio show.
Time to go.
That's great.
That's awesome. So musically, what's going on, Ron? Or are you doing anything musically right now at all? You getting to play any?
Yeah, I still play. I do charity gigs here and there, but the main focus we're doing now is we're trying to get some really big songwriters like Stevie Wonder, Rod Stewart, and all these people to help us write a song called Hope for our concert. So you need a theme song, and I take like the greats like Michael Jackson, I think he was one of the greatest songwriters of our time, and Stevie Wonder, and people that took a song like We Are the World and made a big difference on that. So we, as producers of the song Hope, are hoping a lot of the angels here in Los Angeles will come on board, help us write this song, get it out there, do the concert. You know, I applaud people like Kobe Bryant, who is a great Laker, but at the same time, he walks for the homeless. He puts his mouth and his money where his mouth is. And he really does help a lot of causes. So I'm hoping that he'll help us, and we can get the Dodgers, the Lakers, the Kings, all the great teams here to pull together for one common cause, and that's to help our homeless here in Los Angeles.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Oh my God, y'all. Mike, I've got just a tickle in my throat. So tell everybody a little bit more about your music career. What did you play? What instruments?
Well, I started off as a drummer, like you guys, and I had an opportunity to mess around with the guitar as I was writing music. I didn't, poor family, we didn't have a piano to so I could do all my writing from. So I did it from guitar, and that allowed me to have a little bit of experience in that, but mainly bass. So I traveled as a bass player with Martha and the Vandellas and different people. I did different instruments, but it was all fun. It's all fun. Today I don't play as much outside, more in the studio.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's my world.
Yeah.
So do you still have your bass from back then?
Oh, I got both of them. I got Blondie. She was the girl that bought me the house and car that and then I have Pearl, which is a new girl. She's a beautiful bass.
Nice.
And Ebony is the drum set that I have, and I name them. So.
I love it. Oh yeah, all my guitars and stuff have names too, so I get it. Isn't that here we are as men? We name our boats, our cars, our planes, our instruments.
Yes.
Come here, Betsy. That's awesome. So. You record primarily on Pro Tools, though, right?
Yeah, I use Pro Tools. I'm at Pro Tools 9 HD right now. I like the feel of that. I haven't pushed to 12 or anything like that. But
right. What interfaces are you using on those?
Right now, I'm using the Thunderbolt setup.
Nice.
I guess that's what it is.
Fast.
I'm good at that, but I'm not good at hooking everything up. So I can give you names, Mike names.
It can get tricky.
So I let other guys do that, but yeah.
Yeah, all the old school stuff, the big boards, the SSLs, and the Neves and all that. That was the world I loved. And then the Atari MTR 90s, the 2 inches rolling.
Oh, yeah.
13 minutes, cost you a fortune. Oh, yeah.
Yes.
But the warmth of it.
The warmth of it is great.
Oh,
especially the Neve board. At Motown, we worked on Neve boards, and they had Neve in each studio, so it was good to be familiar with them.
Oh, those preamps are so warm.
Yeah.
Oh, my.
And another thing, too, from that school today, a lot of that is lost as far as working the compressors and limiters and all those different things.
Absolutely.
A lot of the producers, the young producers, haven't stepped into that area yet. So
Absolutely.
Because they're plugins, they have a different look and presets. They use those opposed to learning.
Exactly.
So, but, you have to be relevant.
Absolutely. I remember I missed twisting knobs. I'm all about the rack gear. That was the fun stuff. The interaction. My board was about 20 feet long. I loved blasting off from one end to the other. I was known for doing a spin or two, and it was such a blast because after about 14, 15 hours on the board, man, you're just in that world. It's a real fun space, definitely. I really do miss all of that. Do you have a bunch of old gear?
Yeah, I had 1176s, and I have a bunch of setups from the Reverb and different things like that. But I don't use it as much. I like the plugins more. The LA2As are still what I drive my vocals through.
Bam.
But because they sound good and warm and they give a different texture. But mainly just plug-in.
Hear you, definitely. I'll tell you something. I was at a Nashville studio last year, and I had never seen one of the old school plate reverbs.
Yeah.
Holy mackerel. I like to fell over. That thing was giant. It was huge. Yeah. I mean, do you remember those?
Oh, yeah.
Good Lord.
Your Fantasy had a room upstairs up at the top, and it had a big plate in it.
Yeah.
And it had a mic up to the plate. Ran the mic all the way down to the studio, so... That's what their reverb was.
You think about the guys that thought about that stuff. Yeah, that's what's crazy. When I see stuff like that, I'm like, wow, where the mind was that came up with that. Let's make this giant plate. Really, the experimentation on that's insane.
We sound like dinosaurs right now.
Okay, so I hope we've got an old school audience today, but I get all excited about all it's like talking about a 1969 Corvette with a 454, 4-speed, 411 rear end. Oh, yeah, get me all jacked up and excited. And don't get me wrong, we're in two worlds in music. So we are old school, and it's fun to be able to talk about that world. But the other side of it is we are electronic, and we have taken our dinosaurish ways and we've moved into the electronic age, and it is simpler. I'll tell you something, the hard transition for me, I'm used to having such a large board in front of me, to have just a screen or two and try to throw the board up and move around, and it's convenient, it's there. But I still, once you've got that old school twist the knob, do this, flip around behind you. Oh, yeah, I like interaction. It's all the fun stuff. Hey, Ron, tell me about, now I know you've played like the Forum a million gajillion times. Tell us about the touring years, man. Good Lord, you have been all over the place.
Well, I wish I played the Forum, but one thing
I thought you did.
No, but one thing I can say, I have played so many places, because I got my start in the early punk days, and that's where I came from, out of the punk new wave scene, with Blondie, groups like the Runaways, TSOL, the Germs, and our band, the Schizos. So we basically played loud and noisy and aggressive music. But all the time I was playing that, my favorite kind of music of all times has to be the early doo-wop music, because you have people that could harmonize, and you didn't need a band; they were the band, coming out of their voices. That you can't beat that.
Exactly.
So I love the old doo-wop. I listen to that at home, all the old '50s doo-wop stuff, because people like the Shirelles, and you just can't beat it.
Absolutely.
So. Hopefully someday I'll get to play in a doo-wop band somewhere and make some oldies.
Hey, maybe we ought to pair you guys up.
That would be great.
You never know. Never rule out that. As my grandpa used to say, I'd rather network than not work.
Yeah, that's great.
That's Music 101, definitely. Yeah. So now, music-wise, so you went from punk. Now, all this big transition, you started playing in studio work, Cheap Trick, all this amazing lineup.
What I did is I went from punk music, and then I started playing a lot of the jams around, where I could get the opportunity to play with people like Chris Montez, who wrote Let's Dance and Call Me. And we did jams up at Universal City Walk, where I first got my start to play with Dizzy Reed from Guns N' Roses, some of the guys in the Quiet Riot, Prescott Niles from the Knack. And I just been working my way around the circuit as a rock drummer who just enjoys playing. And producing, we produce a lot of shows. Like we did a show called Rockin' for the Vets, where I had the legendary Albert Lee on guitar.
Nice.
And we had Scotty Page from Pink Floyd on saxophone, great musician. And we had members of Paul McCartney and Wings come in the house and be in my house band. So that's really good. And they're humanitarians too, to come and volunteer their time for a good, worthy cause.
Absolutely.
And we produced the Babies Reunion Concert, a band from the 70s. And we donated all the money to a homeless shelter for children. So
nice.
that went very well. And the Babies are a great band. They jumped right on board. We had Delana. And I had an all-star band with that too. So, you know, we just love giving back, and we're hoping that somewhere out there, somebody in your audience will listen. And we're trying to get on the Ellen DeGeneres show because she is top-notch, and if anyone can raise awareness for a cause or to bring forefront about the homeless we have here and what people can do, it would be Ellen DeGeneres. She is like the greatest human being on this planet and one of the greatest humanitarians.
Okay, you all heard it. So he's reaching out to Ellen. Who out there knows Ellen? We need a phone call. You can call me at 951-760-8156. That number again, 951-760-8156. And ask for Ron, because I'll get Ron and you all can talk and we'll get everything pulled together. Because we work with Ron and we want to get the message out. So we need the biggest platforms in the world to do that. We can reach more people, and it's about people helping people. And so let's all band together and make this thing fire off. It's really amazing to hear what you're putting forth in that effort. So what was it like with Cheap Trick? Did you tour with Cheap Trick?
No, I just played with members of Cheap Trick.
Gotcha.
So no, that was
Robin
good.
and them?
I just love their music. You know, it was the music of my era back in the late 70s, early 80s.
Absolutely.
So, you know, I got stuck in the 80s. So the music's great. All the bands were great. And it's good to see that a lot of these bands that I grew up with back in the 80s are still out there playing, making noise, and carrying on with their music.
Absolutely. I totally get it.
So now it's time for the old school rockers to jump on board and help give back.
I like it. Yep. What do you think about that, Mike?
I think it's great. I think we've had some great opportunities to, you know, me coming out of a poor area and able to travel the world. I've traveled the world and seen other countries. To have that opportunity to do that, it would be great just to give back to not only humanitarian, but to a lot of different causes that's necessary.
Absolutely. You know, remember everybody, when the economy collapsed in 2008, most of the places that were receiving charitable donations, it all dried up. A lot of these foundations and charities completely dried up. And so they're struggling. Here we are 7-8 years out, and some of these are just gaining traction that we're able to survive it. So it is critical. It's like I've always said, you don't have to have a bunch of money to help. Think about this, because compounding means everything. It's like save a penny today, 2 pennies tomorrow, 3 pennies the next day. So here's my call to action. If you've got something dear to you, if it's kitties, if it's dogs, if it's the plastics of the world. And by the way, if you really want to help and you don't have any money, or you don't want to spend that money and you're trying to be conservative, here's one way to help save the planet. Don't accept any more plastic bags at the store. That'll fix that wagon real quick. And the other side is that if you pick up one piece of trash a day and put it in a proper receptacle, imagine what 7.3 billion people could do to this planet.
Wow.
It's amazing. So it's little things that mean a lot.
Yes.
And so I always say this. Imagine if we had, well, just like I did some work with Slash, and he had, you know, millions of followers on Twitter. And so he's reached out, and a bunch of other artists have reached out through their audiences, because people forgot about one thing. It's not about going after wealthy people. Why wouldn't you take, if you've got 7 million followers, and ask them for 25 cents to 50 cents a piece?
Yes.
Dig it out of your couch, dig it out of your ashtray, whatever, but we can all afford 25 to 50 cents.
Yes.
Yep. And so that's the key. So find something, find a purpose, find a cause, because I know one thing, it'll make you feel warm and fuzzy. And warm and fuzzy is a good place because it feels like you're giving back something. Because here's the thing about this planet, we got to give, not take. You know what I mean? It's a serious thing.
We all live here.
Absolutely.
And then we should take care of our home.
Yep. Think about this. I always say it. It's a water planet, not a land planet. 80% of our oxygen comes from the ocean. So why wouldn't we protect it? Yeah, it's real difficult. I come from Oklahoma. So I grew up in an area where they didn't talk about the ocean. People didn't really, it wasn't a subject. You know, we're too busy cow tipping. No, I've never tipped a cow. But I've known some knuckleheads that have. Definitely. That brings the hick out in me right there. The sleeping cow tipped over. But it's amazing going back home. And now there's some awareness because of what I do. And what I've done in the oceans. I mean, the most we had as water was a stinky lake or a river, and you get out and you've got that red clay, and your clothes are ruined. But you had a fun day. Welcome to Oklahoma. But here we are on the coast, California. I mean, 4th largest economy in the world. Think about that. The depth of how big and diverse California actually is. And so we have one of the most beautiful areas in the world that this is a vacation destination. And, 7 cities up north have already run out of water. It's hit domestically. Is that crazy? It's hit our own state.
Yeah.
We are absolutely in trouble. And so, hey, I want to just share this because we're going to wrap up here shortly. But also, we need and this water conservation part. Now, I want to talk about some of these subjects because we can talk about all of our great careers and lives and all that. But the subjects that are going to keep that alive and keep the next generation alive is to be conservative. And so when you're brushing your teeth, turn that faucet off until you're ready to rinse your mouth. When you're washing dishes, fill up the sink and wash the dishes and then move forward. So it's the little things. Yeah. Remember, it is the little things. It's not the big things. It all adds up. It's about compounding. If you take a 30-minute shower, cut that baby down to 15. You're not washing a baby elephant. Good Lord. Even though sometimes it is nice to get in there and have some water therapy, definitely. So what do you like to do as hobbies and all the fun stuff? Now, I know that you're going to lean to music. I know that we made our hobbies our careers. I get it. But outside of music, what do you like to go out and do?
For me, it's basketball.
Nice.
You want to do aerobics and all that kind of stuff, but I played basketball, throughout my life, and today I still go out and shoot. I try it twice a week.
Nice.
But in between the busy times. But that's for me. I love it. I watch it. I support it, and because it's fun.
Nice. Yeah. That's awesome. You know what? Tonight I wanted to mention something. I work with, you remember Michael over at the Whiskey.
Yes.
So Michael at the Cap Theater, we did a Prince tribute over there. Yeah. And so La Magique Fantastique is tonight. So we have red carpet at 8 o'clock at the Cap Theater, and you all can look that up, CAP, Cap Theater, and the show starts at 9:30, and that's Susie Malone. So Susie Malone's La Magique Fantastique, there's my French for the day, they're going to be rocking the house, and I believe that's sold out, and so you're invited. I've actually got a VIP ticket for you if you wanted to come out tonight. He called me earlier, and so you all are invited, obviously, and so it's supposed to be a really wonderful show tonight. So it's optional. I know it's kind of last minute, but it's there. And so we're very excited about that. To support it, we're going to take out some stuff for the red carpet tonight. You know me and the red carpet. I love that area of life. It's fun. It's always fun. Yeah. It's a different energy. It's a real cool, think about that. I'm just some knucklehead cowboy from Oklahoma, and I roll out here and see the Hollywood sign. It was like the Beverly Hillbillies pulling up, Hey, I'm like, Uncle Jed, you see the Hollywood sign over there? That's a cement pond. And so it's still magical to me. That's the one thing I love about we're boogieing in today, and there's a certain area you can turn on the 101, and bam, there's the Hollywood sign. And still to this day, it still feels the same as when I rolled up in the magic of what Hollywood is. Don't get me wrong, it's a city of broken dreams, but it is a city of amazing things that have happened that did become reality. And I feel bad for everybody that came out and they were, whatever happened to them. But I will say this, I've got a lot of friends that have had some magical careers. You guys, I mean, good Lord. I mean, when you bring up words like legends and people that have shaped and molded what we became in music is sitting in this room. I mean, that's crazy to even think of. This is what, think how powerful music is when we're happy, we're sad, whatever it is. We have music on most of the time.
Yes.
You have a bad day and something's going bad, you put some music on that kind of fixes that wagon. Throw a little jazz on, head down to Pacific Coast, and bam, there's the beach, sun setting. Holy moly. I just named the California dream right there, didn't I?
Yes.
Oh, Lord. So, Ron, do you have anything in closing that you want to share?
Well, I'd like to say if anyone is interested in becoming a humanitarian and wants to contact us, the Hope for the Homeless hotline would be area code 661-210-7938. And I got to say in closing, I just hope that as old musicians, right now we're going through some very tough times here in Los Angeles and have been for a while. For the young musicians who are trying to come out of their garages and play somewhere, where now if they play at a venue here in Los Angeles, the venues make them pay to play.
Yes.
Horrible. And I believe that we need to change things.
Absolutely.
And I hear that a lot of the major bands that are playing, who I all love dearly, in order to play with them, you have to sometimes pay them to get recognition to say, I played with so-and-so band. And I believe that any band that's out there should fellowship the younger bands and the newer bands and just let them go on tour and play. And we got to find a solution, because there's so many talented young musicians that will never get heard if we don't make a stand and do something to change it. So
I agree, and because here's what this is turning into, by the way, in the studio. We're going to have acoustic jams. I'm now inviting local bands on, like the Chimps and all these guys we've been seeing that are up and coming. And they're going to come in and we're going to do live acoustic jams. We're going to support their music and play their music. And we're going to push it through our audiences, because here's the thing. They need our support. They need help. And we're as dangerous as the music industry has become on many levels, where it's not monetized enough to make a living on. It's very difficult. That it's critical that we help these guys. What's your view on that, Mike?
Well, I'm with Ron, definitely with Ron on that, because we came up, you have a talent and you get paid for that. A doctor gets paid for his talent, a lawyer gets paid for his talent. So, and I think a musician should look at the perspective of, okay, let me make my talent and my education as strong, as big as possible, and that way you can open up and you can make it so you can get paid in other areas as well. The companies are still making money. Don't think that the record companies are not making money. Capitol just built a brand new room, and some of the other companies are doing, Universal's doing great. So they can't exist unless they have great talent. Put yourself on a talented level and they will become calling again. And that's what I'd like to do with my company, is like put it on a level where I can help musicians. I want to do it the way, if you're talented enough, you get signed, and then you put out, people will buy your music.
Absolutely.
Yes.
I agree.
Mm-hmm.
Boy, well said. Boy. So here's the key. We're all stepping up to the plate. We're trying to help. We're developing formats in all types of genres in this industry to be able to keep it alive. And that's what it's about. I look at what we were, it's been 9 years in the making to get to the point where we felt the radio show, we could get in, do video, do all this stuff, but to support local arts.
Yes.
And support, I'm obviously about arts all over the world, but I'm going to do one thing. Everybody always talks about going to other countries to save this, save that. I'm working on our country. You know what? I work. Don't get me wrong. I know that's pot calling the kettle black because I do environmental work all over the world. But our local businesses, our local musicians, and local venues, they need us. It's got to be USA made, baby. You know? And that's what we're about. So, on that note, we're going to close out. This is our first day of video, radio. We've got amazing panel of legends. I feel blessed beyond words. Ron Whitaker, thank you for everything you do in my life. You are a true brother. Words can't even express. And then my sister, Rodica Isabella Shaldon, amazing, beautiful spirit, a wonderful soul, and you've graced my life definitely and continue to inspire me. And Michael Durio, I look forward to the future of what you're doing and some of the educational stuff that will help our youth. I'm right there. Anything I can ever do to help, this platform is wide open. I'll always be part of that voice. I get it. I see where we're going. But the bottom line is we're going to band together to do something great together because we can't do it alone. It's got to be banded together. Sabrina, got anything to say on closing?
I've had a great time here listening to all you guys today. Thank you so much.
It's awesome stuff.
It's been great. Yeah. It's a great show today.
Awesome. Thank you. And let me mention again, Michael Fields, good buddy of mine, La Magique Fantastique, Susie Malone's show at the Cap Theater. We're going to be on the red carpet tonight, 8 o'clock, show at 9:30. By the way, and I forgot their business card, and I just threw this in, but we had a wonderful man that I'd met that's in the heating and air business. I'm going to do a big spot on them next week, but any of you all burning up out there, I've got a solution for your house with an amazing team, and I'm going to bring them on next week just for a little spot because there's a lot of people out there in homes that don't have air conditioning that are burning up out there that need help. We're trying to find solutions that will help people in a lot of different ways. We've got all types of housing issues and problems and people that are homeless, and so we've got a lot of different genres. So we are going to bring them on board. And Kurt Kelly, a good buddy of mine. We're working together. He's over here filming. We're working on a lot of different media stuff. And my PR agent, Diana Kelly. Let me tell you, without her, I'd be absolutely lost. And all my family, kids, wife, everybody, hi, and hope everybody's great. I hope everybody is moving forward in life and having a wonderful space. Hope, faith, belief, and trust, and all those wonderful things. Everybody have a wonderful day. Next Wednesday, by the way, we have LA Guns, Paul, and he is going to tear the house down. I don't know. Do you all know him? You met him, Paul Mars. Paul Mars is LA Guns. He's got a wonderful story to tell. He's got a lot of wonderful things. Again, everybody, thank you so much for coming on the show. Second show, I think it just rocked the house. And you know what? We're here for Rockers for Wildlife, and we'll see you next week. Everybody, take care. Wave at the camera, everybody. Woo!
Peace.
You're listening to Rockers for Wildlife Radio with Paul Paget, only on LA Talk Radio.